Mulch. It's one of those garden tools that often gets overlooked, yet it can truly make or break your soil's health. You see, most gardeners reach for wood chips or straw, not realizing there's a lost mulch technique that has been used for centuries and outperforms them in every measurable way. Now, before we dive into this forgotten method, be sure to subscribe to Farm Logic. This way, you can uncover more historical and highly effective gardening tricks that transform ordinary soil into a thriving ecosystem. What you're about to learn, my dear friends, is not just theory. It's a practice that combines observation, natural materials, and centuries of agricultural wisdom. This gives you soil that grows faster, retains moisture better, and stays healthy without constant intervention. Ever wonder why ancient gardeners favoured a mulch that's rarely talked about today? Well, stick around and we'll explore this intriguing secret. Long before modern landscaping and commercial mulches, traditional farmers used a layer of finely shredded green plant material, what we might now call herbaceous mulch. Leaves, grass clippings, and crop residues were collected, allowed to wilt slightly, and spread around the base of plants. Unlike heavy wood chips, which can sometimes rob the soil of nitrogen as they decompose, this green mulch fed the soil immediately. Farmers observed that plants stayed healthy through droughts, soils stayed loose and aerated, and microbial life flourished. It was a living mulch system. It didn't just cover the soil, it enhanced it. How this lost mulch improves the soil better than wood chips. You see, while wood chips are indeed excellent for their slow decomposition and long-term protection, they do have their limitations. Now, about those wood chips, they often compact, restrict water penetration, and, well, they can even encourage fungal growth if applied too thickly. On the other hand, green, finely shredded mulch, by contrast, integrates with the soil more quickly. It's quite fascinating, really. Microbes and earthworms break it down within weeks, releasing nutrients directly into the root zone. Now, the faster decomposition means that, well, your plants receive more immediate benefits, and the mulch actually contributes to active soil life, rather than just acting as a barrier. Why do layering and preparation make such a difference in effectiveness? You see, ancient gardeners didn't just dump plant material randomly. They layered the mulch specifically to maximize airflow and moisture retention. A thin layer of coarse residue on the bottom prevented compaction, and then, that was followed by finer leaves or straw. This stratification allowed water to infiltrate easily while keeping the soil beneath consistently moist. In modern practice, gardeners can, mimic this by layering small amounts of shredded green waste over slightly coarser material. By doing this, you're actually creating a self-regulating microenvironment that nourishes roots and supports microbial activity. Now, let's talk about how this mulch method transforms water retention and soil structure. When rainfall or irrigation reaches the soil, the finely shredded mulch absorbs and distributes water efficiently. As it decomposes, it enhances soil aggregation, meaning the soil remains crumbly rather than turning to dense clay-like blocks or washing away during storms. Earthworms thrive in this environment, creating channels that further improve aeration and water distribution. Unlike wood chips, which mostly sit on top, this lost mulch actually integrates with the soil, turning every inch beneath into fertile, friable earth. Right, so let's talk about how to apply this technique using backyard scraps. Start by collecting leaves, grass clippings and, well, other soft plant residues you might have lying about. Allow them to wilt slightly so they don't mat together. Then, chop or shred them into smaller pieces. Spread the material around your garden beds in a thin layer, adding coarser stems or older straw underneath if desired. Over time, the mulch will, decompose into rich organic matter, and you can replenish it periodically as plants consume nutrients. This process creates a self-sustaining cycle. Scraps feed the soil feeds plants, and plant growth produces more mulch material. Why timing and moisture management are honestly crucial for success. Ancient gardeners knew that mulch applied at the wrong time could cause rot or even repel water. Applying the shredded plant material when the soil is moist but not saturated ensures the mulch absorbs water gradually and, decomposes efficiently. Replenishing the layer after heavy rains or seasonal harvests keeps the soil protected year-round. Observing these principles ensures that the mulch works in harmony with your garden ecosystem, rather than simply sitting on top as decoration. How this method fosters a living soil ecosystem. Unlike inert wood chips, this green mulch encourages biodiversity in the soil. Worms, beneficial insects and microbial populations all flourish in the moist, nutrient-rich environment it creates. Plants benefit from improved nutrient cycling, reduced pest pressure and enhanced resilience to stress. Essentially, the mulch doesn't just protect the soil, it animates it, turning every planting bed into a dynamic, living system. Now, you might wonder why modern gardeners often overlook this approach. Well, commercial gardening trends these days tend to favour long-lasting, low-maintenance solutions, which honestly makes wood chips and synthetic mulches quite popular. However, in doing so, they ignore the advantages of rapid nutrient cycling and, the microbe-friendly structure that's offered by finely shredded green plant material. By reviving this ancient practice, gardeners can actually bypass expensive fertilizers and, over time, improve long-term soil health naturally. It's a lost art, but one with measurable practical benefits that modern soil scientists increasingly recognize. If this guide has, inspired you to rethink your approach to mulch and soil health, do consider subscribing to Farm Logic and, share it with fellow gardeners and history enthusiasts. This lost mulch technique doesn't just cover the soil, it enriches it, encourages life and honestly creates a resilient garden ecosystem that works with nature rather than against it. Reintroducing these centuries-old practices into modern gardening can, quite remarkably, transform your backyard into fertile, sustainable soil faster than wood chips ever could. Farm Logic watermark text. Watermark in the corner of the screen.